The morning after a reshuffle that stretched late into the night, the same Labour government, but now a new-look cabinet, as Andy Burnham's allies took the top jobs. Lucy Powell, are you happy to be Education Secretary? Yeah, and can you keep the party united? Shabana Mahmood, are you disappointed not to be Chancellor? Happy with your job? Ed Miliband, are you happy to be Foreign Secretary, sir? You not sad about the Chancellorship, sir? As Andy Burnham's allies took top jobs in a ruthless purge of those loyal to the last leader. Wes Streeting, can the party unite in this cabinet? Isn't it a vicious cull of Starmer allies, sir? Angela Rayner, can the party stay united under Andy Burnham? Is it a nest of singing birds, sir?
Originals, I'm Emily Carver. Please do give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And do leave a comment. Let me know what you think.
Johnny Reynolds, can the party remain united, sir? Some of the old guard who called for Starmer to go themselves stayed, joined in the Downing Street gardens by the Burnham backers who got their man here. Burnham convening his very first cabinet.
Can I just say, I expect this every meeting.
At the height of his power and with a very clear message.
We need to be a cost of living government. Life's hard out there, isn't it, at the moment?
Burnham using his first full day in office to make a down payment on his pledge to give people a bit more breathing space, with a cut to VAT on energy bills from October the 1st, saving you £45 a year and costing the government £850 million.
The corridors of Westminster are echoing with the sharp, echoing clatter of cabinet doors slamming shut. The shifting tides of British political power have claimed their latest round of casualties, and the room at the top has suddenly become extremely crowded and exceptionally cold. Welcome back to Britain Underneath, your front row seat to the subterranean power plays, quiet betrayals, and sharp-elbowed ambition shaping the United Kingdom. If you want the unvarnished truth behind the headlines, hit that subscribe button right now and join our growing community of political insiders. Let us dive straight into the fallout.
Andy Burnham has officially taken the keys to number 10 Downing Street, and the political executioner has been working overtime. The swiftness with which the political landscape has been reshaped has left seasoned parliamentarians gasping for air. Former Chancellor Rachel Reeves, who once stood at the dispatch box exuding fiscal authority, finds herself cast into the political wilderness alongside high-profile figures like David Lammy and Steve Reed. For months, Westminster was filled with assurances of continuity, stability, and careful succession planning. Yet, as the new Prime Minister constructed his top tier, those long-standing political alliances crumbled in an instant.
We've made a start today. We made the announcement about removing VAT from household electricity bills. It's not everything, but it shows our determination to do something about people's living standards, and it kind of points the way for further measures that we hope to take that pressure off people. But also it comes with reprioritisation, and you'll have seen what I've said about digital ID.
Burnham dropping plans for new ID cards to pay for cuts to energy bills, whilst seeking to reassure the markets his more left-wing government will maintain fiscal discipline.
We've got to show that our commitment to the fiscal rules is real, and we're prepared to make difficult decisions in relation to that.
But for all the smiles in the cabinet room, the Labour Party not a nest of singing birds. Burnham's first major policy announcement already facing soundings off, as former Chief Secretary to the PM and architect of the digital ID programme, Darren Jones, tweeted the scheme was unfunded and that the government will have to set out how it will pay for its new policies at the budget. Payback perhaps for the purge, Harriet Harman unimpressed.
I need to speak to my colleagues who've been sacked from the cabinet. and just say, nobody wants to hear bitterness and resentment, and everybody wants this new regime to succeed, and that's for the good of the country and for the good of the party.
Burnham has made much of ending factionalism and bringing the Labour Party back together. But his cabinet picks were anything but, with 11 Starmer loyalists purged from the top table and another couple only hanging on by their fingertips. This may have been a bloodless coup, but this reshuffle was vicious, and some of the bad blood spilled was on show today. After talking a good game on unity, Burnham's first act failed to follow through. The next act is getting on with the job and cutting the cost of living. This something Starmer promised too, but failed to land. Burnham wants his new team to succeed, but his reshuffle may well make that a harder task.
The atmospheric shift inside parliamentary offices is unmistakable. The mood among ousted frontbenchers is a mix of quiet disbelief and bitter disappointment. Take a moment, take a breath, and stay informed on how fast loyalty vanishes in modern politics. Rachel Reeves had spent 2 years attempting to enforce strict Treasury discipline, anchoring her identity to economic stability. To be shown the door so abruptly, replaced by John Healey in a move that blindsided political commentators, is a bruising reminder of how brutal cabinet reshuffles can be. Sources close to the former Chancellor suggest a deep sense of frustration, not just at losing the red box, but at watching an economic strategy discarded overnight.
And it is not just Reeves nursing bruised pride. Other party heavyweights who assumed their positions were secure have been unceremoniously sidelined. Figures like Darren Jones, who operated right at the centre of government operations, found out via brief phone calls that their services were no longer required. Meanwhile, Ed Miliband, who had spent months preparing for a potential move to the Treasury to drive a grand economic transformation, was instead handed the Foreign Office. While diplomatically prestigious, it effectively removed him from domestic economic policy. The underlying tension within the parliamentary party is palpable, with many backbenchers openly questioning whether Burnham's sweeping clear-out will deliver unity or trigger an internal feud.
He's promising the biggest change for 40 years, so he's only kept 7 of the 27 members of Keir Starmer's cabinet. Who are they? What links them? What might they be like? Well, the big surprise was this man, John Healey, who's going to be Chancellor, seen as a safe pair of hands, safer than the other options. But the issue is that when he was Defence Secretary, more than a year into his time in office, there was a big black hole in the MOD's finances. Can he be trusted to manage the finances of every single government department? That's his challenge. Then there's Shabana Mahmood. She stays in the same job. The challenge for her, a lot of Labour MPs want to get rid of her immigration reforms. They thought she might be out the door, but now she's staying. That will be a big fight. And this man, so Miliband in the Foreign Office, but perhaps not the one that we thought. Ed Miliband, now he's pro-EU, pro-multilateralism, but tough for the special relationship. He's on record causing trouble on subjects that Donald Trump doesn't like, climate change and stopping the US from using bases in Diego Garcia. Could that be a wrinkle in the special relationship? Now, this person, Louise Haigh, maybe not a household name, but the most powerful female in the cabinet. She's First Secretary of State in the engine room of this government. She's the only woman at the very top table. But what does link these 4 most powerful figures at the top? Well, each one of these 4 did more than anybody else to get rid of Keir Starmer. They are linked by the fact that they were the ones that wielded the knife against the former Prime Minister. Could that be a problem? We'll see in time. So what happened to reformers, those on the right of the party, Blairites as we once called them? Well, Wes Streeting, he's ended up as Defence Secretary. I'm told that he once went to the Falkland Islands on a visit and was part of the Parliamentary Armed Forces Commission. So that's some of his background in that area. And this is Pat McFadden. He's another Blairite. He wants to reform welfare. Andy Burnham says he does too, but in the past has been quite nervous.
If you appreciate deep, mature analysis that cuts through the political spin, please take a second to subscribe to Britain Underneath. Your support helps us keep digging into the stories that matter and ensures this channel can continue delivering accurate coverage. The strategic calculations behind these cabinet decisions are clear. Prime Minister Burnham is keen to demonstrate an immediate break from the recent past, positioning his administration as a fresh start focused on the cost of living and regional devolution. By removing prominent architects of the previous economic approach, he sends a firm message to the markets and the electorate alike. However, discarding experienced ministers comes with significant risk. Disgruntled former cabinet members sitting on the backbenches have long memories and considerable influence, creating potential friction points when key legislation faces tough parliamentary votes. What we are witnessing is the classic ruthless mechanics of power in Westminster. Promises made in quiet corridor conversations often evaporate the moment the threshold of Downing Street is crossed. The feeling of being left out in the cold is a familiar sting in British politics, but the scale of this current realignment is particularly striking.
Nervous about going too far, taking entitlements away from people, so could that end up with him in a clash with his new boss? We'll see. But the thing is, quite a lot of the people who were awarded in the reshuffle are actually allies, geographical and friends of Andy Burnham. So look at this, Lucy Powell, Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, she's ended up being Education Secretary. Then the person who drew up policy during the transition while he was an MP in the early days, that's Miata Fahnbulleh, she's ended up as Energy Secretary. And the third one, a long-time friend, familiar face, former Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, often sharing a karaoke mic with Andy Burnham, and she has ended up as being Housing Secretary. And there's a bit of a theme there, friendship and geographical relationships. Actually, you can see MPs out of London in the Labour Party dominate this cabinet. Here you've got Manchester and Birmingham, and you've got some MPs for others. Very few from the south. And the thing is, the Labour Party, its votes in the election, has become a bit of a party of the south, but that's not where its cabinet representation is. Could that be an issue? Because there are just so many friends of Andy Burnham that have ended up in cabinet like this one. Lisa Nandy survived in the culture role, an expanded brief, but she is back in the same job. Now, look at this. You've got Annalise Midgley, another northern female MP. She helped get Andy Burnham into that Makerfield seat. She is important as Chief Whip. But that leaves you with some anomalies. So just look at this one. This is Yvette Cooper. She was, until the start of this week, the Foreign Secretary. It's a demotion, but it's a demotion to a very important job for Labour, which is the Health Secretary. So will she be able to get across the detail in order to sort out that brief? We will see. Andy Burnham's cabinet is the key to his success. He says he's got 10 years of plans in order to fix Britain. But will these people prove to be the right people to advance his agenda?
As the new cabinet settles into their departments, the displaced figures will be carefully watching every policy announcement, waiting to see if this political gamble pays off. Make sure you stay tuned to Britain Underneath for continuous updates as this story unfolds. Subscribe now, hit that notification bell, and leave your thoughts in the comments below to ensure you never miss our upcoming deep dives into UK politics.